Okay, we are rolling. Champions of Champions boxing talk. It's been 2 months since my last video. A real long hiatus in the world of YouTube and in the world of boxing. So I've got, shall we say, quite a bit to talk about. So, to be honest with you, I haven't even thought of the title of this video yet. But it's coming soon. First of all, let me explain my hiatus from the sport of boxing whilst moving around my room very strangely for some reason. It's called setting up your sound equipment properly. Should have done that before I started talking, but, you know, the real professionals improvise on the spot. And that's me. Reason for my hiatus. People say, don't get upset when silly decisions happen in boxing. Right? Because it's been happening for so long now. You'd lose count. You couldn't count the amount of dodgy decisions that happens in this sport. It seems to me that strange things happen in boxing more than other major sports. First of all, let me say, in the future I'm thinking of going down a different route on this channel. My first sport really is football. Football to me will always be above boxing. Now, boxers themselves, they have moral courage to fight in the ring, but the people that organise the sport I have not much time for, right? And I know it's been like this for years, and with the existence now of the internet, it's being exposed more and more. Now, football, I think, is a great team sport. Boxing is a great individual sport. But I think the people that run football, and it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but the people that run football, or as you might know, soccer, I think are a much, much more honest bunch than the people that run boxing. I believe in football, yes, there is corruption, there's been scandals with FIFA, there's been scandals in the Italian league, Serie A, with various clubs like Juventus and so forth, who were relegated because of that. But by and large, if you see an error in football, I like to believe that it's a human error, not a corrupt conspiracy. But in boxing, it happens all too often. Now, this has happened long enough, yes, right? But there's always a day when enough is enough. And enough was enough for a good while for me after Canelo and Golovkin. It really was. I just didn't have the energy. If you've been listening to my videos for a while, you probably thought, well, he must be really busy. Not really. I just did not have the stomach for the sport anymore. I watched boxing matches. I commentated less on boxing forum groups. I was just going through the motions of the sport. The desire was just flat after that fight. It was like it all accumulated to me thinking, is it really worth focusing on this sport anymore? I've seen many in my lifetime. Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, Oscar De La Hoya in the second fight with Shane Mosley, Manny Pacquiao with Timothy Bradley, Castillo with Floyd Mayweather. I could go on. That's just major fights. See, unless you've got subscribers crawling out of your ears, you can't really talk much about your boxing knowledge on YouTube. You have to pinpoint who you talk about, which is the major stars. Now, the major stars have been robbed. Yes, right? No question. But them at the lower end of the scale also get robbed. Nobody focuses on that because they're not household names. It's wrong, but that's a fact. Like Andalay Bird, the judge who pathetically gave Golovkin only 2 rounds. She has been demoted, I believe, to smaller cards so she can do that to an up-and-coming fighter. Well, let me tell you something. It's actually worse robbing a fighter on the rise than it is a fighter at the top. Let me explain why. Miguel Cotto gets robbed, hypothetically. Doesn't matter. Miguel Cotto's legacy is sealed, robbed or not. The Manny Pacquiao fiasco in Australia. Manny Pacquiao arrived that night in Brisbane, an 8-division world champion, the champion in 5 different lineal weight classes, the record, 58 victories, 59 victories, whatever it is behind his belt, a certified legend. It was very wrong how he was treated in Australia, but nonetheless, we know the score. It's not going to change what Manny Pacquiao is now, is it? But say that's a young Manny Pacquiao on the rise, and he gets robbed. That puts him lower down the food chain of the sport. But Andalay Bird is doing this. There are just simply judges and people in boxing that should be filtered out. End of story. And we had a few mega fights, where perceived, well, in fact, robberies happened. Canelo Golovkin, number 1. Right? Pacquiao Horn, number 2. And Tony Weeks' pathetic performance in the Kovalev Ward sequel. That's enough for me to stomach at times when I think about things like this. Rigondeaux and Lomachenko are up soon. Are we going to see number 4 here? Honestly? I don't know. I'm having a real big rant about things in this video. I'm talking like I don't really want to be back. It's been 2 months. And I've been looking at my sound equipment. Had, well, multiple opportunities to make videos. Just readjusting my sound again. Because I'm a professional. Yeah, the opportunities have been there, the desire hasn't. Because I felt like as a fan I was really hit real hard down below Golovkin Canelo. Now people say, oh, is this because you're such a Golovkin fan? Teddy Atlas is not a Golovkin fan, is he? And he felt the same way. Worse. You just don't want to see a sport that behaves like this. Had it happened to Canelo, I would have said the same thing, honestly, because I don't dislike Canelo as a fighter. He's a terrific fighter. He's entertaining. You know, he's everything that, in terms of talent, that a boxer should be in the modern era. You know? People say, did you feel like this after Mayweather-Pacquiao when the fight really didn't live up to expectations? No, I didn't. Because when all's said and done, the Queensberry rules, Floyd Mayweather used them and won the fight. And at the scorecards, I'll be absolutely honest, of the 2 guys whose career and whose style I prefer is Manny Pacquiao over Floyd Mayweather. Always was, always will be, win or lose that night. But had I seen a scorecard that read 10 rounds to Manny Pacquiao and 2 rounds to Floyd Mayweather, I would have been disgusted. I really would have been disgusted. No question about it. No fighter deserves that treatment. I don't care whether you're the biggest Floyd Mayweather fan or whether you're the biggest Floyd Mayweather hater. You have to be fair and see things with your eyes. That's just astonishing how these people work. And when you get these big shot promoters, well, say no more. They'll literally screw a fighter over because they know there's another fight following it that's big. Right? I know there have been some close fights, right? I actually do believe that Pacquiao beat Timothy Bradley in the first fight much more soundly than he did Jeff Horn in Australia. But again, we had a 9 rounds to 3 scorecard there. What is going on? It can't be incompetence because, let me tell you, I'm not a professional. Many of you listening are not professionals, yet you saw a fight that was very different from that scorecard that was issued. Right? I'm going to move on swiftly to a more positive frame of talk, because if you thought about this stuff, I don't know what to tell you. Miguel Cotto's last fight. Let me say something about Miguel Cotto. He was criticised for picking Saddam Ali. Let me tell you something. Saddam Ali is a good fighter. Saddam Ali is not Conor McGregor. Right? Saddam Ali was, before Jesse Vargas defeated him via knockout, considered one of the most promising up-and-coming welterweights. And you've got Miguel Cotto, who's 37 years of age, fighting a man much younger. In his final fight, do you know Miguel Cotto is a legend at Madison Square Garden? He's the man that keeps the old Mecca, because it was the old Mecca of boxing, going strong, and that was Madison Square Garden. Miguel Cotto could sell that place out against me. Against me. Miguel Cotto is a warrior. He's a warrior. Even his last fight, right? If you're not keeping Kamagai off, right? I know people say he's one-dimensional, but if you develop old man stamina and your power and your crisp punches and movement slows and you can't hurt him, Kamagai can break you down. Look at the mess he made of Robert Guerrero. Even though Robert Guerrero won that fight, Kamagai really took more of the edge off the Ghost, in my opinion. The Ghost was hitting him with left, rights, moving, but Kamagai just kept coming. Just kept coming. That was not a cherry pick, like people make it out to be for Miguel Cotto. He was hitting him clean, and that guy's head is like the Terminator. He gets hit, and you think that he looks like someone who's suffered whiplash, but then he recovers within seconds. And Miguel Cotto was hitting him with that withering left shot to the body that he has in his arsenal. Kamagai still kept coming. But you know Miguel Cotto's patience. He didn't get flustered. And he just kept doing what he needed to do till he got the unanimous decision. Won every round, dictated the pace and everything. But if Miguel Cotto ages, if Miguel Cotto gets disillusioned because he can't hurt this guy, you risk, as an older fighter, being broken down. Kamagai is not a good style, I don't think, for an older fighter. I really don't. But Miguel Cotto had more energy than Kamagai. More energy, more volume, more accuracy, more movement. I know he's limited. I've just said that. But this guy, Miguel Cotto, is still beating guys much younger than himself. And determined fighters at that. Let me tell you this. The Conor McGregor that's shown up against Floyd Mayweather would get destroyed by Kamagai. Destroyed. Do you honestly think Conor McGregor could keep Kamagai off with those shots? He would walk Conor McGregor down within round 1 and slaughter and make a mess of him and take him out by round 5 or 6 at best. At best. If Conor McGregor, a 154-pound fighter in a boxing ring, could not hurt Floyd Mayweather, who didn't bother to defend that night, he's not hurting Kamagai. I know Kamagai's not as skilled as Mayweather, but Kamagai he's Michael Myers. He's Michael Myers. That's what he is. Like Brandon Rios was a few years back. They just keep coming. Brandon Rios has more to his game. Margarito had more to his game. But these guys, Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers, right? So, no, Conor McGregor would not beat Kamagai. It'd be a bloodbath. Right? Kamagai would keep coming, keep throwing. And with that gas tank of Conor McGregor's, because he was blowing like the wind. As the fight wore on against Floyd Mayweather, he was taking clean, crisp right hands from Floyd. Floyd's accuracy was off that night. But he could afford to throw and miss, because there was nothing going back in terms of countering from Conor McGregor. Right? So back to Miguel Cotto. He's beat Kamagai, a guy that would crush Conor McGregor. I'm certain Sam Ali would beat Conor McGregor. And I know, even worse, Conor McGregor would end up in hospital against Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto is one tough guy. Do you know after Floyd Mayweather fought him, Floyd Mayweather said, "This guy is the toughest opponent I've ever faced. He's got better movement than Canelo. He's a better natural boxer than Canelo," is Miguel Cotto. So anybody, and Golden Boy admitted it in the press conference, and I knew it at the time watching the fight, they said Cotto-Canelo was a much closer fight than typical. The judges scored it. And this was an old Miguel Cotto v. Canelo. Old, right? When you've got a representative of Golden Boy Promotions saying that their Golden Goose had a close fight with somebody, you better believe it's true. Cotto, that fight could have gone either way. Let's be honest about it. Just dodgy judges. I'm not saying I personally give it Canelo by a round or two. But had Cotto got a draw, I wouldn't have argued with it. Had Cotto won it narrowly, I wouldn't have had cause to complain. Right? So this guy is no cherry picker. And let me tell you something about his career. He's won 6 world titles. He's won 41 fights. He's got one of the best left shots, hooks, whatever you want to call it, to the body I've ever seen. He's one of the best Puerto Rican fighters of all time. Maybe in terms of determination and his ability to bounce back from defeat, maybe he's the best. I'll tell you something. If Kell Brook, the real talented welterweight from my nation, wants an example of how you bounce back after devastation in boxing, he should talk to Miguel Cotto. He should look up to Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto suffered against Antonio Margarito. We all know the reasons about that, right? Miguel Cotto suffered a beating to Manny Pacquiao. It was nobody's fault that they were getting destroyed by Manny Pacquiao at that time. Ricky Hatton took it too much to heart. Let me tell you, getting blown away by that version of Manny Pacquiao, don't take it personal. Because his career then was just, well, he was an abomination to you. The guy was just on another planet back then. Miguel Cotto grew up, got himself together, went on to win world titles. went on to become the middleweight champion of the world. Now, people say, oh, it was against a one-legged Sergio Martinez. Guys, Cotto had been through more in the ring than he had. Was the smaller guy. I'm not saying Martinez was at his prime at that point. He wasn't. But there'd been other fighters, Chavez, for example, that had the same opportunity to beat a flawed Martinez and couldn't do it. But Miguel Cotto did. Right? Then, as I said, comes up against Canelo, gives a good account of himself. You know? He's beaten Zab Judah more impressively than Floyd Mayweather did. He stopped him. He's beat Shane Mosley. A Shane Mosley that would go on after that fight, I believe, with Miguel Cotto in 2007 to beat Margarito, knock him spark out. And Miguel Cotto beat him. A better version of Shane Mosley than Pacquiao or Mayweather beat. Right? So he beat Daniel Geale more or less as convincingly, I know it was at a catch weight, as Golovkin did. He stopped Daniel Geale. Daniel Geale is no pushover. He's not. Titles in 4 weight classes. It's tragic that Adrian Broner has the same standing in boxing as Miguel Cotto, because let me tell you something, Adrian Broner is not fit to scrub Miguel Cotto's boots. Adrian Broner is not fit enough to be a Miguel Cotto sparring partner. Cotto would squash that dude like a bug. Say both them two met at 140 pounds. Oh my God. Oh my God. So, Miguel Cotto is one of the best fighters of this era. My question to you, and I believe he is, in my book he is an all-time great, is he to you? That's my question. Can you honestly say that Miguel Cotto's fights were not exciting? The last fight with Kamagai, it was the most boring beatdown I've seen in a long while. But that's because Kamagai was very repetitive and couldn't make any adjustments in the ring. So every round looked the same. But when you get a fighter that has variation, I mean, Miguel Cotto made it look a good fight against Floyd Mayweather. I mean, who can do that? Who can do that? Not many people can do that. Make a 12-round affair with Floyd Mayweather look exciting, but Miguel did that and busted him up. Busted him up. Busted him up. Right? The only one of the few fights Floyd had that was exciting was Conor McGregor, because there was a definitive outcome, i.e. a knockout. But that's because Conor McGregor doesn't know the difference between a fish hook and a left hook. That's why, in boxing. Miguel Cotto, as a boxer, though, against the sharpest Floyd Mayweather, made it a fight that you wanted the 13th round to start after the 12th. And Floyd gave him his credit. Do I regret Marquez and Cotto not happening? Yes, I do. But I didn't want it happening at that point in time. Marquez had been out the ring for too long, sustained injuries to his knee. People would have said it was Martinez again, because I think at that point Miguel would have beat him. Prime Marquez, though, and Prime Cotto at a weight they're both comfortable in. Wow. What a fight. Because you've got two legends. Timothy Bradley's gone. Marquez is gone. Andre Ward's gone. Miguel Cotto's going. There's some others I've not mentioned. It's been a year where legends have called it a day. Will Miguel Cotto be missed? Miguel Cotto will be more missed than Andre Ward. Make no mistake about it. because he offers more. I'm not saying he'd beat Andre Ward pound for pound if they fought, if they were the same weight. Not saying that. But Miguel Cotto is one of the guys that's really good for the sport. Right? If everybody fought like Mayweather or Bernard Hopkins or even Andre Ward at times, boxing would die. But you could have all of boxing Miguel Cotto's and it would thrive because the entertainment value, the activity that goes on in that ring, it's a testosterone sport. Both men and women are pulled towards it because it brings that primitive violence. Miguel Cotto does that in a boxing ring. He's not a 24/7 guy. He's not a Showtime guy, shall we say, all access. That's not Miguel Cotto. He doesn't do blood on the camera and then water in the ring. He's ice cold on the camera at times. Then he's a killer who produces blood in the ring. As Floyd Mayweather called him, don't underestimate Miguel Cotto, Floyd said. Remember, Max Kellerman was sat there. He's a silent killer. Floyd knew. The genius of Floyd Mayweather was his charisma and how he put it all together with his money-made persona. But you won't get that again in boxing. The next guy with that style will not make anywhere near the noise in boxing that Mayweather did because not many people have that personality and charisma that Floyd did to make up for, say, lack of excitement in the ring at times. So the next guys are going to have to be exciting. The next cash cow that really breaks records will have to be exciting. Because if they're not, and they don't have the person, Anthony Joshua's not got Floyd Mayweather's personality. Canelo Alvarez has not got Floyd Mayweather's personality. They have to keep looking sensational. And when I say sensational, Floyd looks sensational, but in Floyd's way. But they have to look sensational in the testosterone way. They have to obliterate guys. Make it look like they're punishing people because unbelievably in this politically correct world, boxing gives people that release now. It's our chance to see somebody be helpless in a corner and get absolutely levered. Oh, it's terrible, people say. No. There's a part of you that loves to see that. That's my family shouting, by the way. Yep. Probably an argument going to break out. That's entertaining as well. But Miguel Cotto does that. If he's got a chance to hurt you, he'll hurt you and he'll like it because he knows you like it. He's a nice guy, Miguel Cotto. But he understands the score. Saddam Ali, I believe, will understand that score this weekend. I see Miguel Cotto stopping him in 9 to 10 rounds. If Jesse Vargas was able to hurt him and make him feel that right hand and power, he's in for it with Miguel Cotto, who is great with both hands. And his feet still look really good. I do think that the moment he meets a real elite fighter, he may lose. But Saddam Ali is very good, but I don't think he's quite on Miguel Cotto's level. And the ring rust has gone. People were worried, is there ring rust and stamina issues going into the Kamagai fight? There is none. He's got rid of the ring rust. Saddam Ali will face a good version of Miguel Cotto tomorrow. Probably the best version you could ask for right now. And that spells trouble for Saddam Ali. Miguel Cotto is one of my favourite fighters of this era. For me, he's more of a favourite in my book than Canelo is. I prefer Miguel Cotto's style to Canelo's style. You know? I salute Miguel Cotto. Great boxer, great warrior, great finisher. And a guy with spirit that's able to come back from the depths of despair. The depths of despair. Remember that phrase. A man with the ability to come back from the depths of despair. That's Miguel Cotto. His legacy is sealed. 6 times world champion. Remember him that way. Let's switch the angle, shall we, to Manny Pacquiao. Apparently he's going to be fighting in February, according to Freddie Roach. There's been a lot of talk of Conor McGregor and Manny Pacquiao. Let me just say, Conor McGregor has less chance v Manny Pacquiao than he did Floyd Mayweather. If Manny Pacquiao turns up even the way he did against Jeff Horn, which I don't think was Manny at his best by any means. But did you see the state of Jeff Horn, a professional boxer, in round 9, who is a kid compared to Manny Pacquiao? If Manny puts that style of beating on Conor McGregor at any point, he's going to drop like a sack of spuds. Manny Pacquiao is not Floyd Mayweather. I'm not saying Manny Pacquiao is greater than Floyd Mayweather, but the style of Manny Pacquiao coming at you is far more hurtful and dangerous than what Floyd Mayweather does. Manny Pacquiao will not give Conor McGregor 3 rounds. Manny Pacquiao will probably not carry Conor McGregor. Manny Pacquiao will see this as a great attempt to finally get a KO. If Manny Pacquiao did call Conor McGregor out, and I'm not saying he did, Freddie Roach said that Manny's not the type to call a guy out like that. But if he did, Manny Pacquiao sees Conor McGregor as a very good payday and some food and drink in the ring. Let me tell you. Because here's what Conor McGregor's got to do when he faces Manny Pacquiao. He's got to prepare. It's hard. It's going to be harder for him to prepare for Manny Pacquiao than it was for Floyd Mayweather because he's a different stance. Manny Pacquiao's a different stance to Floyd Mayweather. So the first fight gave Conor McGregor against Floyd Mayweather some good boxing experience, maybe. Hypothetically. However, if he fights Manny Pacquiao, he starts all over again. He has to learn as a boxer how to cope with a southpaw. With a left hand like very few in the sport. And a fast one at that. And aggressive. In other words, Manny Pacquiao tends to, these days, build himself more into fights than he used to do. He used to start like a whirlwind with volume, power, accuracy, and he was non-stop. But even now, he's more aggressive than Floyd Mayweather. Jesse Vargas hit the canvas in 2 rounds. That was the second round he hit the canvas in. That was early. Does Conor McGregor take that shot as well as Jesse Vargas did? Again, an experienced world champion. I'm not so sure. And as I said, also late on in the fight, he still had enough energy to muster a beating on Jeff Horn in Australia when he was hitting Jeff with everything but the kitchen sink. Another round like that, as Freddie Roach said, it was a done deal. But let me tell you, he could produce 1 round like that against Conor McGregor, and it would be game, set, and match. You know why? Conor McGregor does not have Jeff Horn's stamina. Conor McGregor does not have Jeff Horn's experience. He's an Olympian, Jeff Horn. He's 17 major fights now behind him. And he was at home. Manny Pacquiao, Conor McGregor will be at neutral ground. Manny knows as well he won't be letting this go to the scorecards. If Manny Pacquiao gets in any sort of shape, expect Conor McGregor to bite the dust in anywhere from 4 to 6 rounds. Because Ricky Hatton lasted longer v Floyd Mayweather than he did against Manny Pacquiao. Don't even read into the fact that Floyd Mayweather beat Manny. That just doesn't play anything. Styles make fights. Somebody said Conor McGregor, because he's gone 10 rounds with one of the greatest boxers of all time. Oh my God, he's going to be a beast. Wait till he gets hold of Keith Thurman. Wait till he gets hold of Errol Spence. Are you joking? The more crude a fighter is, the more dangerous they are to Conor McGregor. The more dangerous. A Floyd Mayweather that was missing for the trees was able to beat that guy. Floyd Mayweather looked more rusty than metal in the rain, let me tell you. And he's still got Conor McGregor out there. Floyd Mayweather missed a whole week of training camp prior to that fight. Floyd Mayweather coming there joking and laughing. That guy generally looks concerned. He looked more concerned in the Berto fight than he did against Conor McGregor. Right? So, no, Spence would squash Conor McGregor. And I'm talking just about welterweights. Can you imagine Conor McGregor fighting 154-pound fighters? Mr. Charlo and people like that. Oh my God. Can you imagine Floyd Mayweather? Oh, it's Charlo, I'll just walk through him. No. He couldn't do that with any top. He couldn't do that with Liam Smith. He wouldn't do that with Liam Smith, Floyd Mayweather. Not a chance. He wouldn't do that with Kell Brook, who's thinking about making his debut at 154 pounds. But he had no respect for Conor McGregor. He thought it's going to take more energy away from me raising my guard than just letting Conor McGregor hit me. And he's a bigger man than Floyd. The guy in boxing throws arm punches. That's what he does. Manny Pacquiao will walk through him. He took some big shots in Brisbane from a guy who can hit in Jeff Horn. He took the odd good punch from Jesse Vargas. He took right hands from Floyd Mayweather that were putting Conor McGregor on Dizzy Street and took them like they were nothing. Floyd got Manny's respect, but Manny was never hurt at any point in that fight, even when he was hit kind of really well with the right hand of Floyd Mayweather. Different story, Conor McGregor. When Manny decides to turn the pace up, throw from all angles, and move, the movement, he's not dealing with a defensive movement, he's dealing with an offensive movement from a different stance. He couldn't cope with an orthodox fighter. He couldn't go the distance with a man that now goes the distance. He's fighting another man that goes the distance, but has more power, is from a different stance, and shows less mercy to his opponents than Floyd Mayweather does. Let's just be honest about it. What do I think about that matchup? I did criticise Floyd Mayweather for it. In the end, I didn't blame him because the money was so big. I'm going to say it's slightly worse for Manny Pacquiao because Manny Pacquiao beats Conor McGregor easier than Floyd Mayweather does. I think it's worse that Manny Pacquiao fights Conor McGregor. Do I give Manny a pass for this fight? No, not really. I think Manny Pacquiao could fight another professional out there, Mike Alvarado, have a big festive fight in the Philippines, go out in a great way against a real professional. Someone like Mike or other professionals. I was thinking, could he possibly... It's probably just a dream, really. But the guy from Anthony Crawler from my city, I would love Manny Pacquiao to come to the MEN Arena. And if they could make, an agreeable weight for the two of them to meet, Anthony Crawler be Manny Pacquiao. That would no doubt sell well. And it's against another professional who deserves a great payday, because Anthony Crawler is a credit to boxing and he's been a terrific fighter. And it's a good fight, good contest. If they could make, an appropriate weight. Something like that, not Conor McGregor. But the money wins out, doesn't it? Bob Arum's saying he's not interested in it until he sees the numbers. And I didn't want to see Floyd Mayweather v Conor McGregor. I don't want to see Manny Pacquiao, Conor McGregor. There's a dog barking during this interview. I don't think he wants to see Manny Pacquiao, Conor McGregor either, but somebody will. We've seen the numbers, didn't we, with the Floyd Mayweather fight? The next kingpin of boxing down the years, recent years that is Manny Pacquiao. So no doubt it's going to sell. People are going to say, well, he lost to Floyd, but Floyd beat Manny. Can Conor McGregor beat Manny? That'll be the selling point. The selling point as well will be Manny Pacquiao didn't look himself in Brisbane, so Conor McGregor's got a chance. Right? Second selling point. The third selling point, and this is where it gets really silly. Let's see, of the two great fighters of the era, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, who beat Conor McGregor the best. And it will be Manny that beats him the best. And then Maypac 2 starts rolling. Who wants to see that? Well, a lot of people want to see that, but I'm thinking in an ideal world. Manny Pacquiao, people want to see him crack Conor McGregor in two, and that would happen. They would get their wish. Then it's up to Mayweather. You think you did good against Conor McGregor? Yes, you may have beat him better than me, but guess what, Manny? I beat you. And then Manny Pacquiao says, yeah, but I've learned, my shoulder's healed. A lot of money, isn't they? So, that's me, I think, for this video. How long have we been talking away? 42 minutes. Miguel Cotto, a legend. Manny Pacquiao, I don't want to see you in there with Conor McGregor. Please pick, a decent opponent. I'm not saying you should go in. I don't want to see Terence Crawford, because I'll end it with this. Manny Pacquiao has given a lot to boxing. He's beaten a lot of elite names. Even his last fight, he didn't take it in the comfort zone. He went over to Australia and fought the young guy in his home patch. Some people say that's silly. I call it more brave and courageous. That's what a world champion does. They don't just stay where they are. They take chances and risks. It was a bigger risk than people said it was, Manny Pacquiao, Jeff Horn. Everybody underestimated Jeff Horn but me. I knew Jeff Horn had something about him. It was underrated. Right? He didn't win that fight. He did a lot of dirty stuff in that fight. Left you with a sour taste. But we know Jeff Horn is no bum, like people were saying. And Manny did take him on in his territory. When all's said and done, Manny Pacquiao beat Jesse Vargas, was a world champion at the time. And he beat a pound-for-pound star, Timothy Bradley. Let's compare those three affairs with Berto and Conor McGregor. Manny's warrior membership is sealed. If he doesn't want to fight Crawford, and knowing Manny Pacquiao, something inside him probably does. But if he doesn't, so what? He doesn't have to fight Terence Crawford. Because Manny is on the slide. There's no question about it. He's not the force he was. Nowhere near it. Right? Terence Crawford would beat Manny Pacquiao comprehensively now. And the worry is, he would hurt him. Terence Crawford is at his peak. Manny is at his lowest. Lowest. People say, oh, with a great training camp, No. Jesse Vargas is not Terence Crawford. Jeff Horn is not Terence Crawford. Timothy Bradley is the nearest. But that was a special night, I think, for Manny. That was what you call an old fighter having one last great night. Had he met Crawford that night, who knows? He could, we could tango. But we're not at that night anymore. That was 2015, folks, where he dropped Timothy Bradley 2 times and looked sensational, looked like the old Manny. We're further down the road now. Muhammad Ali, great warrior. Again, getting beat to Larry Holmes in your final fight is greater than defeating Conor McGregor. It just looks better even though you lose. But that fight should never have happened. Muhammad Ali was not in the right state in terms of health to take on a guy like Larry Holmes at that point. They used Muhammad Ali to sell Larry Holmes' image to the world. And it worked. Not saying Larry Holmes wasn't a great fighter, but the money men were thinking. And they weren't thinking about Muhammad Ali's health. Right? Muhammad Ali would not turn the challenge down. It was not in his nature. The worry for me is that Manny Pacquiao has also got the same style of nature. I hope Manny Pacquiao is pragmatic now about his career, because that was difficult seeing Muhammad Ali taking a beating like that against Larry Holmes. If Manny Pacquiao gets even worse than he did against Jeff Horn, his target practice, potentially, for Terence Crawford. I don't think anyone wants to see that. Terence Crawford should be fighting Spence and Keith Thurman and Jeff Horn, the young guns of his time. People say, well, Oscar De La Hoya passed the torch to Manny Pacquiao. Oscar De La Hoya was the favourite against Manny Pacquiao. Nobody saw that coming, catch weight or not. Everybody thought Oscar would knock Manny out at some stage. He'd be too big and too strong. Right? Oscar did not lose that fight on purpose. He didn't turn up on the night and go, "Here, Manny, here's the torch." No. Oscar De La Hoya wanted to beat Manny that night. No question. Just Manny was too good for him. It was a shock. This wouldn't be a shock if we seen Crawford beat Manny Pacquiao now. It's not a passing of the torch. It's just somebody stealing the torch from an old man. That's what it is. Manny Pacquiao earned the torch from Oscar De La Hoya because nobody gave him a chance. You're telling me that Terence Crawford is not the favourite going into a fight with Manny Pacquiao at this stage? He's a big favourite in my view. Prime Manny Pacquiao is a different animal, but we're not there anymore. I believe Crawford will get the shock of his life against the prime Manny Pacquiao because he's not experienced anything as tough as that, or as skilled or as varied as that, or as unpredictable as that. But a lot of those skills are diminishing. It's Father Time talking. I hope Manny listens to his warnings and doesn't end up like bare minimum Roy Jones and tragically Muhammad Ali. Roy Jones now is selecting the right opponents. He's earned the right to do so. If Manny wants to carry on fighting, he needs to look at his friend Floyd Mayweather, who won't go anywhere near Jeff Horn, Jesse Vargas, or Terence Crawford. No way will you see Floyd Mayweather clamouring for a match with Terence Crawford. He's being smart about it because he knows he can. He knows he's got the power to. Manny needs to do the same. He's a major player still. But he's not the athlete he was. So Manny Pacquiao is a legend. He deserves to be able to go out on his own terms, The way Miguel Cotto's going out, Miguel Cotto is still fighting a very good fighter, but at the same time, it's not somebody that is going to hurt him too badly. But Terence Crawford is capable, and if he sees Manny hurt, he's going to see the stars. He's going to think, right, this is my chance to put myself in the big league, because people will watch that fight. So he will not respect Manny, and he will hurt him if he gets the chance. Shocks do happen. Maybe Manny would pull it off, but I think it's unlikely. And it's not as good a win long term for Terence Crawford as people think. Everybody would still say, my God, Terence, you beat a 39-year-old. And that's your best win. So that's me. 50 minutes plus. There was a lot to get off my chest, but there it is. Miguel Cotto, thank you for everything. You're a legend. Champions of Champions Boxing Talk. I'm out.